Hey, welcome back to the podcast. I'm David, and if you're tuning in again, thank you. If this is your first time here, you might want to check out episode 1 first. But hey, no pressure. You do you. Last time, we talked about why trying too hard messes you up, why happiness is actually a problem, and why you're not special. And that's okay. It was raw, it was honest, and it was kind of liberating.
Today, we're going deeper. We're talking about responsibility, values, and how to stop giving a fuck about things that don't matter. And guess what? I'm not flying solo this time. We've got a guest in the studio. Someone who's got thoughts, stories, and a whole lot of insight. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for my friend, Iman. Iman, say hi to the people.
Hey everyone, glad to be here. Honestly, I've been waiting for this invite. I've got my tea, my notes, and I'm ready to stir the pot.
Love it. So, quick question before we dive in. When did you first read The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Feck?
I read it about 2 years ago. Actually, before coming here today, I skimmed through it again just to refresh my memory. It's wild how different parts hit you depending on where you are in life.
Totally. I reread it too before recording this episode, and I gotta say, chapters 4 to 6 are where things start getting real. So let's kick it off. Chapter 4 is all about responsibility. Mark says, you're always responsible for your experience, even if it's not your fault. That line hit me hard because we spend so much time blaming our parents, our boss, our ex, the economy, the weather, Mercury in retrograde. But blaming doesn't change anything. Taking responsibility does.
Exactly. It's like, yeah, maybe someone hurt you. Maybe life threw you a curveball. But now what? You can either sit in the pain or stand up and do something about it. And I think that's what Mark's trying to say. Responsibility isn't about guilt. It's about power.
Yo, that's a bar. Responsibility isn't guilt, it's power. I'm stealing that.
Take it. But seriously, it's empowering. When you realize you're not a victim of your circumstances, you start making moves.
Okay, let's throw a question to our listeners. What's one thing in your life right now that you've been blaming someone else for? Think about it. And if you're brave enough, drop it in the comments. We want to hear from you. And hey, no judgment, we've all been there.
Yeah, seriously. Sometimes just saying it out loud helps. Like, I've been blaming my job for my stress. Okay, cool. Now what can you do about it?
All right, let's dive deeper into Chapter 5, Values. This chapter hit me in the gut. Mark basically says, if your values suck, your life will suck. And I was like, damn, that explains a lot.
Haha, yeah. It's one of those chapters where you're reading and suddenly you're like, wait, is he talking about me? Because let's be honest, most of us never really stop to ask, what do I actually value? We just live, react, chase stuff.
Exactly. We inherit values from our parents, our culture, our friends, even social media, and we never question them. Like, I used to think being productive 24/7 was a good thing, but it was burning me out. I wasn't living, I was just checking boxes.
Bro, I feel that. For me, it was being liked.
I'd bend over backwards to make sure everyone was happy with me, even if it meant betraying myself. And the worst part? Half the time, people didn't even notice or care.
Right? It's like we're killing ourselves for applause that never comes. And even when it does, it fades in 5 seconds.
Exactly. Mark talks about how bad values are usually based on things we can't control, like popularity, or being admired, or always feeling good. But good values? They're internal, actionable, real. Let's break that down.
He says good values are reality-based, socially constructive, immediate, and controllable. So like, I value honesty. That's a good one. You can choose to be honest right now. But I value being admired. That's a trap. You can't control how people see you.
And that's the thing. When your values depend on other people, you're always at the mercy. You're basically handing them the remote to your emotions.
Yo, that's a bar. Responsibility isn't guilt, it's power.
Go for it. But seriously, how many of us are walking around with broken value systems? We value being right more than being kind. We value looking good more than feeling good. We value winning more than connecting.
And then we wonder why we feel empty, why we're anxious, why we're constantly comparing ourselves to others.
Exactly. So here's a challenge for everyone listening. Take a moment, ask yourself, what do I actually value? And where did that value come from? Was it something you chose or something you absorbed without thinking?
And here's the kicker. If you don't choose your values, someone else will choose them for you. And that someone might be TikTok, or your ex, or your boss. Not exactly the dream team.
Haha, facts. So let's get real. I'll go first. One bad value I used to live by was never show weakness. I thought vulnerability was dangerous, that if I opened up, people would use it against me. Oof, that's a big one. I had the same thing. Especially as a guy, you're taught to man up, be strong, don't cry. But bottling it up, that's what really messes you up.
Totally. Now I value emotional honesty. If I'm sad, I say it. If I'm scared, I admit it. And you know what? People actually respect that more.
Yeah, because it's real, and real is rare. We're so used to filters and facades that when someone shows up raw, it's refreshing.
So here's a question for our listeners. What's one value you've been living by that might be holding you back? Think about it. And if you're feeling bold, drop it in the comments. We'd love to hear your story.
And hey, no shame. We've all had trash values at some point. The point isn't to be perfect. It's to be aware, to choose better.
Exactly. And choosing better doesn't mean flipping a switch overnight. It's a process. It's messy, but it's worth it.
All right, let's lighten it up for a sec. Iman, what's the weirdest value you've ever had?
Okay. I used to think being mysterious made me cool. Like, if I didn't text back or kept people guessing, I'd seem more interesting. Turns out, I just seemed flaky.
Yo, I did that too. I thought being hard to read was attractive, but really I was just emotionally unavailable.
Exactly. Now I value clarity. Say what you mean what you say. Life's too short for games.
So to wrap up this chapter, let's leave folks with a little exercise.
Love that. Okay, here's what you do. Grab a piece of paper, write down 5 things you think you value, then ask yourself, is this value based in reality? Can I control it?
Does it help me and others grow? If the answer is no, maybe it's time to let it go.
Boom! That's your homework, folks. And if you do it, let us know. Tag us, message us, send a carrier pigeon, whatever works. Just don't ignore it, because your values shape your choices, and your choices shape your life. All right, that's a wrap on Chapter 5. Next up, Chapter 6. You're always choosing. And trust me, this one's gonna hit deep. All right, folks, welcome back to part 3 of this episode. We've talked about responsibility, we've talked about values, now we're diving into something that's going to shake you up a little, choice. Chapter 6 is called You're Always Choosing. And if you're thinking, nah, not always, Mark's here to tell you, yes, always.
This chapter is wild because it flips the whole victim mindset on its head. It's not about blaming yourself for everything. It's about realizing that even when life screws you over, you still get to choose how you respond.
Exactly. Mark says you can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you interpret it and how you respond. That's power. That's freedom. That's scary as hell.
Because it means you can't hide anymore. You can't say, well, I had no choice. You did. Even if the options sucked, you still chose.
Let's get real. I used to think I was stuck in certain situations, stuck in a job, stuck in a relationship, stuck in a mindset. But the truth? I was choosing to stay stuck.
Same here. I stayed in a toxic friendship for years. Why? Because I didn't want to be alone. I chose comfort over growth. And it cost me.
Yo, that hits. And here's the thing. We make these choices every day. Some are loud, some are silent, but they all shape our lives.
So let's ask our listeners, what's one area of your life where you've been passive, where you've let things happen instead of choosing? Think about it. And if you're feeling bold, drop it in the comments. We want to hear your truth.
And don't worry, this isn't about shaming. It's about waking up. Because once you realize you're always choosing, you start choosing better.
Let's talk about emotional reactions. Someone insults you. You feel hurt. You lash out. But guess what? You chose that reaction.
Yep, and I know that sounds harsh, but it's actually empowering. Because if you chose to react with anger, you can also choose to respond with calm, or curiosity, or silence.
I had this moment last year. Someone close to me said something that really stung. Old me would have snapped, but I paused. I asked myself, do I want to be right or do I want to be free?
Oof, that's deep. Do I want to be right or do I want to be free? I'm stealing that one.
Take it. But seriously, freedom isn't just external. It's internal. It's the ability to choose your response, to own your story.
Let's talk about pain. Mark says pain is inevitable, but suffering, that's optional.
Exactly. You can't avoid pain, but you can choose how you carry it. You can choose whether it breaks you or builds you.
I remember when I lost someone close. I was devastated, but I also chose to honor them, to live better, to love deeper. That choice changed me.
Same here. I went through a breakup that shattered me, but instead of numbing out, I chose to feel it, to learn from it, to grow.
So here's another question for our listeners. What's one painful experience you've had, and what did you choose to do with it? Think about it.
And if you're ready, share it with us.
Let's talk about excuses. We all make them. I'm too tired. I'm not ready. I don't have time. But behind every excuse, there's a choice.
Yup, and I'm guilty too. I've used every excuse in the book. But when I started owning my choices, even the messy ones, I felt lighter.
Because ownership is liberation. It's saying, this is my life. These are my choices, and I'm not waiting for permission anymore.
So let's flip the script. Instead of saying, I have to, say, I choose to. It changes everything.
I choose to go to work. I choose to stay in this relationship. I choose to rest today. Suddenly, you're not a prisoner. You're a participant.
And yeah, some choices are hard. Some are painful. But they're still yours. And that's powerful.
So here's your challenge. For the next 24 hours, every time you catch yourself saying, I have to, replace it with, I choose to. See how it feels, and let us know. Seriously, DM us, comment, email, send smoke signals. We want to hear how it shifts your mindset. Before we wrap this part, let's share one choice we made recently that changed something for us.
All right. I chose to start therapy again. Not because I was falling apart, but because I wanted to understand myself better. And it's been amazing.
Love that. For me, I chose to say no to a project that didn't align with my values. It was hard. It was tempting, but it wasn't right. And that no felt like a yes to myself.
That's beautiful. All right, folks, that wraps up Chapter 6. You're always choosing. Remember, every moment is a fork in the road. You get to decide. So choose wisely, choose bravely, choose you.
And don't forget, you're not alone in this. We're all choosing, we're all learning, we're all growing. Next time, we're diving into chapters 7 to 9. Things are going to get even more real. So stay tuned, stay honest, and as always, give fewer fucks, but better ones. Peace.
All right, Iman, we've been talking for what feels like hours, and I'm not mad about it. This episode was a ride. From responsibility to values to choices, we've basically unpacked half of life.
Yeah, I feel like we just did emotional CrossFit. I'm sore in places I didn't know existed.
Same. And I know some of you listening are probably like, okay, that was deep, but now what? So let's slow it down. Let's breathe. Let's reflect.
Let's start with this. What's one thing that really stuck with you from today's episode? Was it the idea that you're always choosing? Was it the realization that your values might be trash? Or maybe it was just the cookie joke? Whatever it was, hold on to it.
And if you're thinking, I don't know what stuck with me, that's okay too. Sometimes the seeds take time to grow. You might wake up next week and suddenly go, damn, I've been choosing passivity this whole time.
Exactly. This isn't about instant transformation. It's about awareness. It's about planting the right questions in your mind. Questions like, what do I actually care about? What am I responsible for? What am I choosing every day, consciously or unconsciously?
And here's the thing. You don't have to answer all those questions today, but you do have to start asking them, because asking is the beginning of change.
Let's talk about something real for a second. A lot of people feel stuck. Stuck in jobs, stuck in relationships, stuck in mindsets. And they think, I have no choice. But today's episode, it's a reminder that you do.
Even if the options suck, even if the path is hard, even if you're scared, you still get to choose. And that's the most powerful thing you'll ever own.
So let's get practical. Let's say you're stuck in a job you hate. You might not be able to quit tomorrow, but you can choose how you show up. You can choose to learn something new. You can choose to set boundaries. You can choose to plan your exit.
Or maybe you're stuck in a mindset, like, I'm not good enough.
You can choose to challenge that. You can choose to say, maybe I am. You can choose to rewrite the story.
And if you're stuck in a relationship, you can choose to communicate, to be honest, to ask for what you need, or to walk away if it's hurting you.
So here's a question for you, dear listener. Where are you stuck? And what's one small choice you can make today to move forward?
And we mean small, like I choose to drink water instead of soda, or I choose to say no to that thing I don't want to do, or I choose to write down my thoughts tonight.
Because small choices lead to big shifts, and big shifts lead to new lives.
Let's talk about fear for a second, because choice is scary. It means taking responsibility. It means risking failure. It means stepping into the unknown. But fear isn't the enemy.
Avoidance is. Fear means you care. It means something matters. So lean into it. Ask it what it's trying to protect, and then choose anyway.
I used to be terrified of speaking up. I thought people would judge me. But the more I chose to speak, the more I realized people were actually listening. And some were even inspired.
Same here. I used to avoid conflict like the plague. But now I choose honesty, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's messy. Because truth builds trust, and trust builds freedom.
So here's another challenge for you. This week, choose one thing that scares you and do it anyway. Even if it's imperfect, even if it's clumsy, just choose. And tell us about it. Seriously, drop a comment, send a DM, write a review. We want to hear your story. Because this podcast isn't just about us talking. It's about building a space where real people grow together.
And if you liked this episode, share it. Send it to a friend who's stuck, or someone who's ready to choose better, or someone who just needs a good laugh and a deep thought.
And don't forget to subscribe. We've got more episodes coming, more chapters, more guests, more real talk.
Next time, we're diving into chapters 7 to 9. Things get even messier.
And even more honest.
So until then, stay curious.
Stay kind. And as always, give fewer fucks, but better ones.
Peace, love, and cookies.
Perfect ending. See you next time.